Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Caron Bailey, your ATX Stampin' Lady. Welcome to the craft room. Come on into the craft room and join me, and let's have some fun with the February 2025 Hello Spring Paper Pumpkin. All right, guys. As we all know, the fourth Friday of every month, we go live in Zoom, and I stream to YouTube the paper pumpkin, the creation and making of our paper pumpkin kit. Um, we I unbox with you. I put at least one of each of the items together as designed by the creators of the Paper Pumpkin Kit. And then I endeavor to try to create at least one or two additional alternative projects featuring the parts and pieces in the kit. Now, there is a coordinating um, there is a coordinating stamp set, I believe, and I believe it's called Grow With Me. Give me 1 second. Let me see. Can't remember if I ordered it or not yet. Hold on. Hold on. Yes, I did. The coordinating stamp set or bundle with this paper pumpkin kit is called Grow With Love. So even if you run out of items in this kit, which there is a refill for it, by the way, you can always recreate these cards using the items in the Grow With Love kit bundle. But we're not talking about the bundle this evening, although I'm going to share with you what comes in I love it when the paper pumpkin kit coordinates with one of our stamp sets. So the Grow With Love bundle includes these dies, and you guys, look at this, right? Look at this. You can make a little treat. It's a bag. Excuse me. Like if you grow things and you have your seeds, you can put your seeds in there. Then you have a couple of label dies. And then you have these will die cut these images, basil, rosemary, mint, and thyme, similar to what you have in the paper pumpkin kit. But again, we might use this tonight when we're working with our alternative kit. So we'll wait and we'll see what happens there, okay? So let's go ahead and unpack our paper pumpkin kit. Hold on, let me put this guy away. Now, the bad thing about that being a cling mount set is I have not put my stickers on the back of it. All right, guys, so if anybody pops in, please don't forget to say hello, join me. Interacting with me here on YouTube during the live obviously gets you an opportunity to be one of the winners of the cards that we create this evening. All right, give me just another minute here. All right. When you do join me, don't forget to say hello. Let me know where you are joining me from. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And share with your friends. I would love to meet your friends, your other crafty friends. If they're not as crafty as you are, but you think they might be, go ahead and share with them anyway. All right, so let's go ahead and open our kit, and we'll share with you the parts and pieces that comes in each of the kits. I didn't break this down like I have done before. So in the kit, it's enough supplies and materials to make, I believe it's 9 cards, 3 each. of 3 designs, but I'll verify that in just a second. That's generally how we do it. Okay. Yep, 3 each of 3 designs. In that kit, we also have a piece of a roll of baker's twine. We have some double-sided tape. We have our instruction sheet. We don't need this cardboard. And then we have our stamp set. You guys, I just created a DIY 4x4, I know 4¼ by 4¼ envelope that I use, and I'm just creating it to store my stamp sets. It's kind of what I've decided to do as far as storage for my little stamp pockets. So here's what we have. We have, I believe these are our envelopes. There should be 9 of them. I'm probably gonna, let me see, does this go all the way down? I'm probably gonna take one of these guys apart and use it as kind of like designer series paper. So there's that. We have some dimensionals. Oh, I can use one of the cards. We have our card bases. Now, I've noticed when Stampin' Up! Does these, they tend to do, this is how you can stretch your supplies. So you can theoretically create 6 cards with this just by cutting this in half and using each as an individual matte layer or designer layer. Or you can use, which is why I tend to do one of each so that I can figure out what I'm going to do with the others. Okay. So that's for card number 1. I'm going to put everything for card number 1 with card number 1. Is this a sticky back? No, this is not a sticky back. So I'm going to punch that out. Well, this is not for that one. Yeah. We are going to need one of those. This goes with this one. That goes there. And then a third we'll have, what do we need on this one? We'll have a piece of this over there. We'll have to a wonderful friend that goes here. And then we're going to need one of these for our last panel. Okay. And that goes with this one. All right, so let's see what else we need to create each of our cards. Okay. Like I said, I do put them away because I don't want them, I probably not going to make the same cards for each. All right, so on this one, we have, what do we have here? And I try to do, the way I'm doing this, I try to get it all done so that really and truly it's at this point assembly style. So I try to put everything together from the get-go. Okay. I'm missing something here. Maybe it's on the back. All right. So on this one, we're just gonna have this is gonna go over there. Right. It just takes a little patience. That's all, right? But we got some of that, right? We all have a little bit of patience. Ah, we're going to do some stamping. That's why I'm not recognizing. There we go. All right. So we're going to need one of the chives over here. And that's everything we're going to need for that beside the stamps. For this one, we're going to need these images right here. 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to need all 4 of these. 1, 2, oops. And remember what I've always told you as well, right? Is I don't get rid of the negatives, at least not to start, okay? I tend to reuse my negatives either to add extra designs, or to shadow something that I'm stamping, but it's always easier if you already have the negative that's already there, that you can use to finish your creation. All right, so let's see, what else do we need here? We're gonna need these and this for that, and then this will be finished. All right, so we're gonna start with what I think is one of our simplest ones. We're gonna start with this card right here. Okay. Hold on. This one right here. So, and I love about the instruction sheet that it just tells you exactly what to do, how to do it, and where to put it, right? So, no, that's not the right one. Yeah, we're starting on 3 first. Like, why is it doing all of that? All right, so this is what we need. And like it just makes everything so simple, the way that it's done. Okay. All right. So it tells us, and I'm not stamping this one just yet. To put on this guy, right down the center, 1 strip of double-sided tape. Okay. So let's just go ahead and do that. Okay. Don't forget to burnish it in. Okay. And all the burnishing does is to make the ease of transfer a little, make it a little bit easier to do the transfer. Okay. So here's our chives. And we're going to grab this little element right here. Oh, and I forgot, we get a petunia pop in our kit. That is the color that we're getting in our paper pumpkin kit this month. Guys, don't get rid of these, okay? I find that these come in handy for, I'm looking for my, I don't know where it is. Oh, there it is. My X-Acto knife is what I was looking for. Be very careful with this. This is very sharp. If you happen to use an X-Acto knife, just be very careful. It is very sharp and it can do a lot of damage. Ask me how I know. It's worse than a paper cut. It is worse than a paper cut. All right. I love my ink spots, especially when I can get them open. There we go. Now it's fully cut. There we go. All right, so I'm going to grab me a block. Oops. And remember, especially when you have not used your stamp in any amount of time for the first time, you should condition your stamp, okay? And all that's doing is just taking a little bit of that extra residue off of there, photopolymer residue off of it, so you can get a little bit of a cleaner transfer of ink. Now find me a little piece of scrap paper. I always try to do a test stamp just to see what I'm working with as far as ink transfer. All righty, guys, don't forget on Sunday, we've got lots going on here in the craft room. I am hosting my first Scrapbook 101 workshop here in the craft room. It is at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. It is a Zoom registration. A Zoom event registration is required for the Zoom event. Let's see. I think it'll be that way. Okay. It is a $20 fee to register. Of course, it is free with purchase of the Everyday You and Me scrapbook kit that is available in my online store. If you purchase the kit from myself, then the registration is free. Myself or my co-presenter, Valerie. If you do already have the kit and you've purchased it from another demonstrator, then you will have to go ahead and register for the workshop. Okay. Again, it is via Zoom. Once you register for that, for the class, you will always have, it will be shared with you a private link on YouTube. And you will always be able to refer back to the 101 that, excuse me, refer back to that training. What did I get to there? Okay. Not sure how I picked up 2 blue dots there like that, but I did. I'm awesome like that. Okay. We'll try to figure that out later. I'm excited for this weekend. Why am I excited for this weekend? Well, I'm excited because I think I'm actually going to spend the entire weekend in my craft room. Yeah. I don't get to do that a lot. Obviously on the weekends, um, that's when you run around trying to do things that you can't quite get done during the week. So, I definitely do try to, when I have the opportunity to kind of stay in my craft room and do nothing else but that, I am like a pig in you know what. Anyway, so here we go. So what's going to happen with this is, and I like to do a layout first. You guys, I am learning to use a T ruler. Have you used a T ruler? I am learning to use one, especially because I have such issues with lining things up. Oh my gosh. And I'm learning, like I said, I'm not a pro yet, but I am learning. So when I'm really wanting to, to line things up, of course, on the T ruler, you have this little lip right here. So it'll stay flush, right? So however you line it up, it's going to be straight, right? Because it is flush with the ruler, right? So in terms of me trying to align this, I know that maybe I want this because this is about what is this about? An inch and a quarter as far as width. So if I wanted to start this piece an inch and a quarter from the bottom, then I would just align the cardstock or the paper and make sure, now I can't get this out, right? From the bottom, make sure the edge is flush with the ruler. And then when I laid it on here, it would automatically be 1 and a quarter inch from the bottom, right? because it has to be flush here as well. And then it'll be even, okay? So I am definitely playing around with using the, what do you call it? The T-ruler. Now, this seems like it's about halfway up, and this is, excuse me, 5.5. So half of 5.5 is 2 3/4, right? But so I want it to be about midway, a little bit less than that, right? So that's about where I want this to line up to start. So this is going to be like this, right? That's about right. And then you could do the same thing from the top. But this is going to be like so, right? Lay things out. That's what I'm trying to do first. This is going to go around here. And then once we stamp our sentiment on the circle, that's, oh, there's some twine in there. So this is kind of how this is going to be laid out. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with the rest of this laying stuff out. Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah, I know they use one strip, but that's not good enough for me. Sorry. Sorry. I'm very anal to the, for lack of a better word, about making sure that if I'm creating a card that I'm going to give to someone, I don't want it to lift. I don't want it to sag. I don't want it to do any of those things because, one, I would have taken my time to prepare that card for that person, and I want them to be able to enjoy it. Not have to say, oh, she made me this card and it just fell apart. So if that means I got to add a bunch of adhesive, guess what I'm about to do? I'm going to add me a bunch of adhesive. Huh? All right. So then we're going to line the T-ruler up, make sure that's straight. Put this towards the bottom, like so. Needs to be, that needs to be higher up for it to be higher. And then line it up and then put it in place. That is the straightest I think I have ever placed an item, you guys. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing on the top, right? And when we align it, again, making sure that it's flush with, let's see, that's too far over because it's about halfway in between, okay? So you just got to do a little bit of lining thing. Oh, what did they do? So on one side, you know, guys, as I'm talking, I am feverishly thinking about, what am I going to make as an alternative? I have an idea. I really do. All right. Oh, the twine is under. How was everybody's week? I really hope you had an enjoyable week, a good week. What did I do today? You know, I had what I'm going to call a no spend day. That's what I call it. And I have never wanted to spend money more than I did today. Absolutely not. It's just amazing to me. Um, I just specifically said I'm not spending any money today. And because I said that, all of a sudden it's like, oh, I need this, oh, I need that. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is stuff I'm saying to myself, right? What are you talking about? Why do you need that? Oh, it was a mess. But I stuck to my guns and I did not spend not one single dime. I didn't shop anywhere. I didn't do anything. Nope. So I was pretty proud of myself. But it was like, oh my gosh. And then it was like, oh, what am I going to eat for dinner? Oh, I want pizza. Girl, you're not spending any money. So guess who had to figure out dinner since she had decided she was not spending any money today? Exactly. It never amazes me that um, it's only when I do something like, say, I'm not going to do something, all of a sudden I want to do it. You know what I mean? That's how it works for me. All right, that guy's gonna go about there. Tomorrow I gotta the weather's nice, supposed to be nice tomorrow. So I am getting up and I am going back, heading back out with my girlfriends uh for our um for our Saturday morning walks. Yes. Oops. Absolutely. I think I'm gonna need to add some adhesive down here because I covered up the double-sided tape primarily with the mhm, with the twine. I just want to make sure that it stays adhered. Okay. All right, so that part is done. Now we just need to stamp our sentiment and we'll be done with card number 1. So the sentiment that's used is Hello Spring. Condition my stamp. I keep checking back on Zoom to see if anybody has wanted to come into the room to play with me. The last Friday of the month, this is an open session. You're free to join me here on this in Zoom, where you can craft with me. And I don't see anybody that's requested to join in. So, all right, so we'll just keep plugging along. Now, the good thing about about stamping something on a circular cutout is there is no such thing as stamping it crooked because it's circular image. It's circular, so it can't be crooked. You just adjust it until it looks straight to you and your eyeballs. That's it. I love when I stamp on circular items. Yeah. Okay. That should be good now. I think I want to make think what I'm going to make. because like I said, I'm thinking about what I'm gonna make as an alternative card. I want to do a book binding fold. I think that's what I want to do. I think. Of course, by the time I'm finished with these three, I might change my mind. All right. And with this, our card, first card is complete. Now we covered that up a little bit, and I didn't want to do that, but okay. And guys, don't forget, even though it's not in the designer's plans, I like things to shimmer and shine. So you remember I shared you a quick tip on how to create your own shimmer? So that's all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add a quick little shimmer on here. So I can have my required shimmer. And I do say required. Okay, so card number one is complete. Okay, let's put this aside and then let's grab our elements for card number two. Now I say card number two, so we're going to work with card number two. All right, let's see what we got here. All right. So what this tells us is we're going to stamp to a wonderful friend on here and to the right. Oh, what did I do with that piece? Didn't find it. That's what. Hold on. I must have misplaced it somewhere. Yeah. One's longer than the other. Here's the longer. Okay. So we need this, and I think we're good to go with the rest of that. All right. So again, moving quickly, we're going to add adhesive to our label piece. And I'm going to add top and bottom. Okay. And then, let's see. Trying to see which ones. Okay, so this one's going to have dimensionals. How do I know? Looks like it's the right shape. 1, 2, and 3. That's this one. And then on this one, we're also going to do 3. 1. Now, if anybody knows me, you know that 3 would not be enough, right? You do know that. I'm just trying to make it work. And then on the rest of them, we have some double-sided tape. Guys, if you don't have double-sided tape, although it does come in the kit, or you prefer to use either your own tape runner or you prefer to use liquid glue, you can use either one of them to complete your project, okay? So part of my my day tomorrow is I have to go wash my car. Yeah. Um, I we have covered parking at work, but there's also lots of pigeons. So really, literally and truly, by the end of the week, my car has lots of you know what on it that needs to be removed. Yes. Now, with this piece, guys, you want to be if you're using it the way it comes in the kit, you want to be a little bit careful about which side you're doing which on because it is kind of sort of directional. Okay, so if I'm gonna just cut it in half, then it doesn't really matter. I will figure that out as I'm working with it. But in this particular instance, I do want the side where the flowers are pointing, they're not flowers. The spices, the herbs are facing in the right direction. So be careful and mindful of that. Okay. All right. So that's done. Let's go ahead and put some things away. By that, oops, just created an avalanche over there. Let's clean this up. Let's grab this out of the way for now. All right. Let's put this away. And then we're going to grab our set that says, to a wonderful friend. I'm going to grab the other side of my block. All right. Move that over here for now because I am going to need that again. I'm going to go ahead and condition my stamp a little bit. And then add the sentiment. Now, this piece is not double-sided, right? So if you stamp on it, typically we say and you make a mistake, typically I'll tell you to just flip it over and you can use it that way. But this is only one side is pink, the other side is white. So if you want to use it as a white cardstock, if you do make a mistake, you do not have the option of just flipping it over and using it. You will have to either cut a piece of, this might be pretty in pink, or yeah, this might be pretty in pink. So you might want to cut another piece of that and use the postage edge punch and create a corresponding piece, because you do not have the option to just flip it over and stamp on that color again. Okay. There we go. If my head gets in the way, I do apologize. Here we go. Hopefully that's straight. It's as straight as I'm able to get it, right? So we have that. So what will end up happening is, oops, this is going to go over top like that. We have this. This, 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 and then this is going to go here. Something in that particular arrangement. Now, guys, one of the things that I prefer to do at times is build everything on the back of this already. What does that mean when I tell you that, right? Well, we know this is going to be, I need 2 of these, 1 on each end. Right? And then a piece of tape goes in the middle. So when I tell you to build it on here, what that means is everything will be finished. So we know this is kind of going to be like that, right? We know this is going to be like this. And this is going to be over top. Oh, wait. Yeah, this is going to be, let's start with this. All right. And you can see from the photo, we have barely like that. Okay. Then we've got this one over like that. Yeah, like that. Might need to add a little bit more tape, double-sided tape. Now that's on. And then this one is going to be this way. Right? So we just build everything that way. And then if you need to, you add a little bit more adhesive that way. Then we grab these. We take these off. And then we need some twine. And then what I'm wanting to do is we want the majority of it to be coming off of this side. So we're just going to put that right there. Okay. And then I'm just going to now add this guy. We've got some changes coming up with Stampin' Up. Yes. Starting in, well, today's the last day. First of all, today's the last day of celebration, guys. If you have not already purchased your items or have your cart done, it is the absolute last day for celebration. Celebration was from January to February 28th. I think it was January 7th to February 28th. And celebration is the time where for every $60 purchased with one of the Stampin' Up demonstrators, you are able to have your choice from the catalog of any of the items either the $60 items or the $120 items, depending on which one you purchase, which the amount of money you spent, your purchase, okay? So if you did it already, awesome, thank you. I hope you enjoyed your purchases, your celebration items. Okay, so card number 2 is complete. Oh, didn't realize my head was in the way. Okay, card number 2 is complete. All right, we're gonna make one more that is from the company, the design, and then we're gonna branch out and we're gonna try to create at least one more. I'm gonna try for 2 tonight. I'm gonna try for 2 cards. That's just a cleaner for my stamps, okay? All right. So last card from the designs by the company. I'm missing one. 1, 2, and I'm missing another one. Where did that go? Come on. It's around somewhere. Nothing is ever missing. It is as usual, probably just misplaced. Dropped on the floor or something, and I didn't see it, feel it, or hear it. Ah, there it is. Okay. So let's just burnish this fold, put this aside. Let's get our adhesive done, how it needs to be done. All right. I'm gonna do some score tape. Oh, here's one. I have like so many different rules of half done score tape. It's not even funny. Well, I mean, they give you plenty to create the cards, but then of course there's always extra. Now I do use mine in my other projects. So it's not just, oh, it's paper pumpkin and then I don't use it. That would be a waste. So no. All right, so this one and this one. Got this. Oops. Do you guys have any questions about paper pumpkin? I love the paper pumpkin kits. You can do what I do. I do a monthly subscription, which means, well, I get to decide every month whether or not I am going to. You have the option. I think you always have the option, but I didn't commit to only 3-month subscription, 6-month subscription, or a year-long prescription. I prefer to do it month to month, but some people prefer to do those types of subscriptions. I wanted to keep my options open, that's all. All right, so on this one, we're getting ready to stamp. Thanks for helping me grow. That's a little crooked. Anybody read anything interesting lately? I am an audiobook fanatic, y'all. I love me some audiobooks. I get to try and experience other genres that I probably wouldn't read otherwise. I mean, I'm exposed to them because I mean I can check them out right on online. I don't have to go anywhere, worry about returning them, anything like that. Obviously, the benefits of audiobook books, but one of the authors that I kind of discovered through um, is Sarah J. Maas, Mass. And I don't normally do like fantasy type reading, but now I'm hooked at hers, and I'm just like, I'm waiting with bated breath for her, her next in the series to come out. So, I do try to read a lot. Now I'm reading Charlaine Harris. I'm reading a book by Charlaine Harris. She is the author of the True Blood, the Sookie Stackhouse novels, from that created those. What is going on here? Why are you not opening for me again? All right, so let's get this stamped out, and then this will be done. Okay. Thanks for helping me grow. And so now we just get to put these together. Oh, we got to stamp that little thing on that one. Not that one. This one. And she's one of those authors which I enjoy that does a lot of series writing. I think if I remember correctly, like the Sookie Stackhouse novels, there was like 9 books, I think, in there, if not more. I can't, at least 9. I can't remember the exact total. I read another one by her. It was like the Gunny Rose collection. I think there was 5 or 6 books in that one. And then this one, the one that I started reading with her is oh gosh, what is this one called? This is the Aurora Teacup series. So I'm just starting this one. I don't know how many books are in that one. And then she also did another one. And I can't remember the name of that one. All right, so I think we've got our parts and pieces stamped and put together. I'm looking for, there we go. There's one on the end, one on the end, and then there is a piece of tape in the middle. Now, I find when I'm following the instructions that I do try to put the adhesive where they recommend that it goes. And I do that because they have it that way for a reason, okay? I have tried at one point not doing the way they wanted it, and then I couldn't fit it somewhere. So that was like lesson learned. So I learned my lesson. So it's up. I hate to do it this way. I should have just done it. Oh, just done it the way that I did it before. That's just easier to me. A lot less hassle, a lot less fuss. So it was just easier for me to do it that way. And so all I do is I just wrapped it around my fingers, leaving a little bit of a tail, and then I just kind of twist it, and then I lay it on, and however it ends up, it ends up. I don't really do too much fussing about it. Okay. All right. So now let's go ahead and assemble. All right. So we've got this guy. And again, I do like to lay things out just a little bit, just to kind of get an idea as to where I want to place things. And then this is going to go here like that. Then we can move this up just a tad. And then this guy is going to end up going about here. Okay. All right. So now that we have an idea, let's go ahead and lay it out. Okay. This was fairly close to the top, about a 1/4 inch from the the left hand side. I'm just going to go about there. I'm also reading Vince Flynn. I love the rap series. I think that's primarily what he wrote about, the Mitch rap series. He was that I just love him. Yeah. Before I discovered crafting, for me it was all about reading. I read and I read and I read. But because I've discovered crafting, card making, I do spend an awful lot of time in my craft room and I don't get to read. So I'm totally ecstatic that, when audiobooks came out, because now I could indulge in reading and crafting at the same time. So 9 times out of 10, when I'm in my craft room, I will be in here and I'll have an audiobook going. That's exactly what I would do. Oh, wonder why it made me do that. I wouldn't have done that. Okay, but it did. Okay, there you go. All right, so 3 cards are done as designed by Stampin' Up designers. Add my own little brand of sparkle and shimmer. Well, you'll see it if you're one of the winners of this card. Again, don't forget to like and share. When you do like and you do share, just come back in here and just let me know that you have shared the video, okay? And you will be entered into the drawing. So here are the 3 cards based upon the designs by the artistic art designers at Paper Pumpkin. All right, so now let's figure out what we're going to do for card number or alternative. So I have somewhat of an idea. Let's take a look and see how we're going to make it work. Okay. I know I'm probably going to end up taking one of these apart, but not right now. So I think for me, I want to go ahead and use one of that. Okay. This. So if I trim this in half, okay. I got a little bit of an idea. Hopefully it'll work. Very simple this is going to be. Very, very simple. All right, so we're going to trim this down to 4 1/4, I think. No, we want it to be about 4. We need it to be 4 by 5 1/4. That's 1. And I am going to trim this at 4 1/4 now, but I'm going to ultimately trim it down to 4 by 5 1/4. Okay. I'm going to stack these together. And all I'm going to do is one of my go-tos for any of my card projects. Okay. I'm just going to cut this on a diagonal. I just picked a spot, any spot, and I'm cutting them. Okay. Now I need 2 pieces of cardstock that's 4 by 5 1/4. Like so. This is a kind of stack and shuffle technique right here. Okay. Because that's exactly what we're going to do now, right? We're going to stack and we're going to shuffle them. All right. All right. That's if you're looking for a very quick layout for anything, a stack and shuffle is a perfect layout. Okay. So we're going to do that. And how I just kind of line them up, because they should both be cut to 4 by 5 1/4, is I just put them up there and I make sure edge to edge, and there you go. Okay. Do the same thing on this side. And then line it up. Now remember, because you're using liquid adhesive, you have a little bit of wiggle room in terms of making sure things are in place. Okay. So you'll have one card front that looks like that. And then you'll have another that is the exact opposite. Okay. That is always a quick design, and it's always a quick go-to. When you're creating a card. Whoops. You got to have in your arsenal a design that you can kind of just go back to and refer back to every single time when in a pinch. Sometimes I do a bookbind fold. If you guys are talking to me, I'm not seeing comments. Hold on. I'm not seeing any comments. But I will pop back in. I will pop back in and answer any questions you might have. If you are answering my question, if you're asking me any questions, for whatever reason, I cannot see if anybody is talking to me. Okay. Again, don't forget on Sunday is the first of our two-part session for our My Scrapbook 101 card series, which I am doing with fellow demonstrator Miss Valerie Turner. She is she joined us from close to my heart, and of course they do amazing jobs at that's too short for scrapbooking. And so when we became friends, and it was like, oh, it was like a no-brainer for me to ask her, to help me become better and more proficient at scrapbooking. All right, so we're just gonna do a couple of 1/4-inch cuts here. And what I do is I just line it up. That's about there. So that's my quarter. That's a first quarter right there. And I'm going to go down another quarter. Okay. Like, what happened to my pieces of cardstock? All right. So what I'm going to do with these two is I'm going to make this a little bit of a banner here, just like that. Like so. And I'm just going to place. Now you can do this with, well, we can do it with our double-sided tape. Why? Because that tape is about a 1/4 inch in width. And we just cut these to 1/4 inch. So we know this should fit perfectly, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and put this like that where I want it. Let it run over just a bit. Wrap it around. That's number one. And then we're going to add the other. And I think I'm going to probably use something from the coordinating bundle. I might. So the other thing that I've been doing is I have been thinking about doing a meal not a meal replacement, a meal service, I guess is what they're called. I've tried Every Plate in the past. I think I did Hello. What is it? Hello Apron? No, not Hello. Hello Fresh. I did that for a little bit. But what ended up happening is the frequency in which they were delivering meals. And I just wasn't cooking that fast. So I always ended up with lots of waste. And so I've been looking into other options that would allow me to still be in that area. And I was looking at Factor because I work for the city, and one of our benefits is that we have like a marketplace type thing where we get discounts on lots of different things. And so Factor was one of them. So I was kind of debating it. But one of my neighbors, right? Apparently she um she had a couple of them, and she just put out there on Facebook the other day in our Facebook group, hey, I won't be able to eat all this. I'm going out of town. I won't be able to eat any of this. So if anybody wants it, of course I claimed it, right? Of course I claimed it. And so now I've been trying these factor meals and they're delicious. Of course, the deliciousness wasn't the issue with the other ones either. Um, it was I wasn't cooking, but the difference with the factor meals is they're already cooked. You just have to pop that thing in the microwave. Have you guys tried factor or any meal replace or meal prep options? These ones are already cooked. So all you got to do is pop them in the microwave and you have dinner. I mean, and I have been enjoying the meals. I'm going to grab some water, you guys. I've been talking for a while. Okay. So I mentioned earlier in the live stream that the coordinating stamp set for this kit is the Grow with Love. You can see um the label. You can still see the this one doesn't have chives because I think one of them was chives. Anyway, um hmm. So we're gonna stamp out a couple of these and die cut them. Of course, you don't have to use the same, right? But we have the die, and we need two of them. Ugh, that's the problem right there, is I did not already label these out. Okay, not a problem. Not a problem. Let me see what this is. Oh, okay, I see. I see, I see, I see. I'm gonna see if I can fit two of them on this. I don't think I would be able to, but I'm gonna try. Yeah, we're not gonna be able to do two. We might be. Hmm. No, we're not. We're only gonna be able to do one. Yeah, we're only gonna be able to do one. Now, fortunately, with photopolymer clear mount stamps, we don't have to um, condition them as much. We don't have to condition them at all, right? I am going to grab another piece of cardstock because I am going to need it. Get them all stamped out. Okay. Oh, thank goodness we're going to cut these out. Let's see. We're going to use the sentiments that were already in the kit. Okay. Oops. That's one. I'm going to stamp this out twice. Okay. Mhm. Y'all know I have to emboss, right? You know that. That absolutely goes without saying. There's a couple of reasons why I'm heat embossing these guys. The VersaFine Clear ink, um, it will dry eventually, but it just takes a little bit longer as far as time for drying. And so, and then you can use it for coloring, your water medium, any medium once it's heat set. But because it does run, you have to heat set it for it to not either heat set it or let it sit for a while to dry completely before you um, take any alcohol or water to it because it will smear and smudge. All right, let's go ahead and get these done out. And normally when I heat emboss, I double heat emboss my sentiments. For purpose and timekeeping tonight, I'm just gonna heat set it once or heat emboss it one time. Not gonna double or triple. All right, so now we've done that. We're gonna just grab our dies now. I'm gonna die cut our pieces. We need that for that. Okay, we just need to get those die cut. And to facilitate that, I'm gonna run this through my mini cut and emboss machine. And I'm gonna quickly fussy cut around my sentiment. Again, I always like to share this tip about fussy cutting. A lot of people think fussy cutting is difficult, and it's not really. Okay. I found that for me, the trick is always let your non-dominant hand, which means for me, the one without the snips, that is the element that actually does the turning and the movement of the paper, paper. Okay. And once it does that, I find that if you let that hand take control, you can have as much of a border as you would like when you're fussy cutting. And I find also that it stays fairly consistent that way instead of me trying to manipulate the snips where I want it to go. Okay. Now I'm going to zhuzh up the second one just a little bit, just in case you're one of those people that you don't like a white border around. So one of them is going to have that border. And then my other sentiment, what I'm going to do is, all right, so they went with the Petunia Pops. I'm just going to grab my Petunia Pop Stampin' Blend. And I'm just going to go around the edges of my image. All right. You can already see that you're going to have a little bit of a border, right? I got some dogs that are going nuts in the neighborhood. I don't know if you guys can hear them or not. I don't know why they're going crazy either. All right, and so you can see, let's trim that out. Put all this aside, y'all. I am not a neat stamper. In case you haven't figured that out, I am not a neat stamper, which is why I generally do try to make sure that, you know, before I move from project to project, I do try to, you know, give myself a minute to two to kind of, you know, just really kind of sort of clean up my area. A little bit anyway. So if you do not like a white border around your fussy cut or die cut sentiment, just grab a marker, alcohol or otherwise, it doesn't really matter. And then trace around the outside of your piece, and with whatever color you're wanting to highlight it or matte it in, and then cut it out. And you will not have that white border, but you will have something that looked like you already had a matte, right? You would think that I had matte this in a piece of Petunia Pop cardstock, and I did not. So that's another tip for you. If you've run out of cardstock or you're low on a color, but you want to do a lot of matting, you guys just take the marker, a color coordinating color marker, and edge it, and you will see. Okay, just like that. All right, so now I have my two pieces. Let me try to quickly die cut my little guys right here. Where's my mini? Then I'm gonna need my plate. But again, guys, what do I hate doing sometimes? A lot of times I prefer to fussy cut things than to, you know, try to figure out where the plates are, even because for me, they're never anywhere where I can find them. Ha, ha, ha. But again, there are coordinating dies in the Grow with Love stamp set that you could do exactly what I'm doing right now, die cutting them out. This one's fairly simple, so I'm just going to go ahead and fussy cut it out. Just like that, it's done. Instead of me having to go find the plates, which are probably buried under something. They are probably buried under something. Because when it's time for me to shoot a video, I just, whatever's, when I come in and I prep, if it's on my workstation where the camera needs to be, I kind of just do one big arm motion and it ends up somewhere not on my table. Yeah. And eventually I got to figure out, well, where did I just knock that up? Where did I just shove that to? Yes, not neat, not pretty, but it is. All right, that's number one. And we're going to quickly do number two. All right, so the other thing that I'm going to do, yeah. Again, when I'm making up my alternatives on the spot, I don't generally have things thought out. The idea kind of just comes to me at whatever point in time it does, and then I move on with it from there. So what I want to do with this, both of them, is I'm going to put a little bit of a watercolor wash on here. Now, I didn't use watercolor paper, so I got to be a little bit mindful of that. But I'm not going to be using that much water on it that it's going to completely destroy the paper. Okay. All right, so we've got both of these that's done. Now I'm going to grab I'm going to grab a watercolor palette. And a little bit of water, which I didn't plan for. Well, yeah, let's go grab it. I don't think I got a lot of water in my watercolor brush. All right, give me just a second, y'all. I really hadn't thought about that until I just had this thought. And so I'm going to grab, like I said, a little bit of water. Let's do a little cleaning up here. And I'm just going to put this out of the way right now so that I don't lose any parts or pieces of it. And then, oops, get that brush in there. All right. So I think for me, I want to work with greens there. And of course, we've got some greens and blues in the drawings or the elements in the set. So we're going to do some of that. So let's put a little bit of water on here. All right. And then I know I see, let's go with this one. Just do a little bit of a watercolor wash. Mix it with, let's go with that one. Oh, perfect. Because I think those were the colors I saw in the images, right? Do the same with this. Let's get our water, prep our paper. I don't normally watercolor, you guys, but you know, one of the things that I try to make sure that I do is I challenge myself by using techniques and stuff that are not completely in my wheelhouse. That is the only way that, to me, that you'll grow or you'll learn about other techniques is if you try them. And then once you try them, you just might decide, hey, I like this. Right? I'm gonna set it for a little bit. And that watercolor palette that I used is a shimmery one. It's just a cheap palette. I think I had picked this up a long time ago, maybe like Hobby Lobby or Michael's or something like that. All right. And so what I'm gonna do now that I have that wash is I'm gonna grab a couple of these elements. Um, hmm, it's okay. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll grab one of these. Like that. And maybe one of this one. Let's go with that one. Okay. No. I would need to use, I feel the need to use a different green if I went with that one. All right, so let's grab one of these, right? So we've got one here. And then we're going to put this one right here. Mm-hmm. I'll put that on there. Center it, however we're going to put it on there. Like that. Okay. Then I'm going to add some dimensionals. I always try to make you guys guess how many dimensionals you think I'm gonna put on something. I didn't do that this time. Okay. Okay. Let's line this up. And we're just gonna plop this guy right in the middle of making sure that our sentiment is as straight as we can get it. I should say as straight as I can get it. Okay. And then we're just going to put that right in the middle, just like that. Let's do the same thing on the other one. Same concept. Same concept. Make sure to add some adhesive. There. And add a little bit up there. Okay. And then I'm just going to put some dimensionals on that. And we've got our cards, you guys. Just going to put them on. So we trimmed this down. I think we trimmed it down to 4 by 5 1/4. So that means we can also mat a little bit more if you're into matting like I am. But I'm going to show you another trick. Okay. I don't know whether this is the lazy man trick or what it is, but it is. It's something I've been doing a lot of lately. You know, I like quick, easy tips. I certainly do. All right. I think I got to decide. I don't think I want to, oh, that's coming off there. So let's just trim that off. Did not want to be folded. It's fine. Okay, so we've got this one. And you guys, you don't have to put everything in the center. You can put it offside. Like I just might put this offside. Right? Do we want to add more dimensions on this one? I don't think so. So I'm going to put this one off to the side. Like this. A little bit off center. All right. That's one. And I'm going to put this on the other side. So one's kind of off center towards the right, and one's going to be off center towards the left. And then I'm going to show you that trick that I was telling you about. Okay. So we're going to put this one a little bit off left. Yeah. Now I want to make sure that this adheres properly because remember we watercolored it and it was not watercolor paper. So it kind of warped our paper just a little bit. I'm just going to go in with my bone folder and do a little bit of burnishing just to make sure that it lays completely flat and adheres properly. Perfect. There we go. All right. Let me show you what we're going to do now to finish these cards off. I generally resort to a white card base. You can do color if that's what you like, but I generally will default to a white card base. Okay. Okay. I got trying to decide if I want to pop this up. I think I'm I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna add them on here. Well, I hope I'm giving you guys some ideas. If you don't subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, at least you'll have an idea for another card layout that you could incorporate or use in your own card making process. Okay. Um, while I would love to have you as a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, it's just important enough for me to teach you techniques that you can use whether you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber or not. Okay, that's number one. And number two. Now, for that trick that I'm going to share with you, so you can see that I'm not adding a border or a matte layer to my card, but I want it to look as if I have matted my card, right? So let me show you what I'm going to do to try to get that effect. Okay. All right, so I'm going to grab my black, and I'm going to go with my alcohol marker or my Stampin' Blends, the dark basic black. And I'm going to try it because it has this bullet nib. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to come on my cardstock. Oh, what's going on with my black? Okay, that doesn't want to work. But if you have a black Sharpie, that might work. Not might work, it will work. I don't have a black Sharpie in my craft room. I don't know why I don't have my black Sharpie in here. But that's a thin line, though. I want a thicker line. I want a thicker line. But you get what I'm saying, right? You can go ahead and grab that marker. Okay, let's do this one. All right. I'm not finding my black markers. My thick ones. Let's see. All right, so you just grab a marker. Any marker. And it helps if it's a thicker nib. The thickness of the nib affects the size of the border that you're creating. Okay. Okay, so you can see I have a little bit of a black border around my project. Now, I think I'm gonna, because I want it to, I'm gonna find my green. Let's go with old olive. Okay, and I'm gonna go with an old olive marker. Now, do you see what I mean about the size of the nib and the kind of border size that it creates? Okay, and just like that, we have matted our card. So can you see? And I didn't mat this. This is just the alcohol marker that I used. And it doesn't have to be alcohol. You can use your Stampin' Up marker as well to create that same effect. So there you have it. I was going to do another card for you, but we created two for the price of one. We used some watercoloring technique. And here are the cards we created this evening with the February 2025 Paper Pumpkin Kit. Okay. We've got the three designs that came in the kit, and then we created one of our own using some of the products from that kit. Okay. Here we go. So guys, thank you for joining me this evening. Again, don't forget that tomorrow on Sunday is the workshop, Scrapbook 101 workshop. And I will put the link to register for that workshop in this description box. So you have that. It is $20 for the class. It's for 2 sessions, March 2nd and March 9th, both at 7:30 p.m. on Zoom. If you do register for the class and you can't make it, something comes up, it will be shared with a YouTube link that will be just for registered members, that you're able to access that link at any time to review both sessions of the class. On that note, you guys, thanks for joining me again this evening. I am Caron Bailey, your ATX Stampin' Lady. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to tell your friends about me. I would love to entertain them as well. You guys have a great evening. Godspeed and happy stamping.